guys, welcome back to my channel. It is so good to be here with you guys today. If you are already subscribed, then thank you. If you're not subscribed, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. So for the month of September, I have been unwrapping gifts because it is my birth month. And today I'll be doing a review on my new Canon EOS M50, which was one of my boyfriend's gifts to me for my birthday. This does symbolize growth for me because this is an improvement or an addition to my current vlogging equipment. I have been playing around with this camera, and I must say, I fell in love with this, I would say, the very moment that I turned it on. This is like a perfect camera for me, and it's very easy to use whether you're vlogging with it or doing like sit down videos or discussions and all of that. So let's jump right into this review. So of course I'm not recording this video with this camera. I'm using my old faithful, the Canon G7X Mark II. It is still a really good camera, so I'm not gonna, you know, sell this one or push it aside. I'm going to use both of these cameras. The focus performance on this camera is definitely competition for other entry-level cameras. This offers 99 selectable autofocus points. LCD on this camera is touchscreen. The LCD is this screen right here. And because it's touchscreen, you can use that by tapping it, just like on phones that some of you guys may have. You know how you touch the screen and it focuses on whatever object you're trying to get it to focus on. You can use that method for the autofocus, and you can also just kind of like center it towards whatever object you're trying to get it to focus on. Not only does it have great autofocus, it has dual pixel autofocus. Now, the dual pixel autofocus is what helps to make the autofocus overall on this camera amazing. The combination of the dual pixel autofocus and you using the LCD, you know, the touchscreen area to get it to focus on an object is what allows you to have like really smooth transitions, and that's a big thing when using it for photography or videography. So how it works is that light goes through the lenses and hits diodes. Diodes are a semiconductor device that converts light into an electrical current. So the processor in the camera basically analyzes every signal and then essentially just creates that awesome focus that this has. So point in case is that this camera has bomb dual pixel autofocus overall. Another thing that I'd like to discuss is the microphone port on this camera. A lot of people suggest that you get an external microphone to go with this camera. It says that it makes the sound quality a lot better. I do not have an external mic for this camera right now, at least. I just use the built-in mic, and I think that is really good, to be honest with you. So I can only imagine how much better it gets with the external mic. This built-in mic, I would honestly say that it's comparable to my G7X Mark II. Don't come for me for those of you that don't agree. I understand, but I would honestly say that it's like comparable to my current camera, which I think is really good as well. Now, I did discuss with you guys about how this camera has 99 autofocus points, and that really happens when you have like a lens that's about 15 to 45 millimeters. This can have up to like 143 autofocus points when you have even better lenses. There are so many built-in settings in this camera that are honestly not so beginner friendly, only because there are so many of them. But I would honestly advise you guys to sit down and play with like everything. See what this camera has so many things to offer. See what it can do, learn about it. So right now you guys see that I'm just going through the various settings on this camera. We have special scene, we have movie recording settings, we have so many filters that you can put on this thing. We have settings specifically for taking photos and certain ones that are specifically for taking videos. One problem that I find with this camera though is that the battery life for this camera, just like the Canon G7X Mark II at the very least, it's not so great. So I would suggest that you guys do have a backup battery whenever you want to travel and video at the same time. The battery drains so much faster when you use a lot of different modes at the same time, like using the external mic in addition to zooming in and zooming out, in addition to replaying the footage and looking at images over and over again. It definitely can drain the battery at a faster rate than it would if you were just simply snapping photos for the day. One thing that's awesome with this is that it is a mirrorless camera, which is typically way lighter than a DSLR camera. It's less bulky. This is more compact and it processes a lot faster. A small issue with this is that you do have a smaller selection of lenses than you would with the DSLR camera, but honestly, it still has really good zoom in abilities. Some settings on this camera are used for cinematic shots. Some settings are used for like when there's like a lot going on in the background, and then others are just used for like when you have like still moments or not so much going on. The image quality is really good. I've definitely messed around with the camera and taken some images, and they've come out really nicely. It does honestly come with really good flash, which you would just lift up this thing right here on the top, open this part, and do your thing. One other random thing is that it can be used as a webcam. This one is specifically for the photographers. The images and colors on this camera are incredibly sharp. You can also shoot images in RAW mode, which are basically unprocessed photos. This has an OLED viewfinder, which is basically something that allows the user to take images without needing a backlight. One thing that I want to make note of when it comes to this camera is that just like I'm filming with my G7X Mark II right now, it looks like I'm looking directly at you guys, right? But when I film with this one and I turn it towards me, I look at the screen just like I look at the screen on this one. But when I film, it's obvious that I'm looking to the side. It's so weird, and it's just something that I definitely have to get used to, because I don't want to be filming all of my videos and I'm looking like, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. You know what I mean? Like, it's weird. Another thing is that when you turn the camera on, you have to hold this button down right here and then turn the lens, and it goes in and out like that. You can't use this camera without moving the lens to at least the 15 millimeter option. Okay, right here you guys can see how I am moving the lens for the focus to go in and out, and then I'm giving you guys a view of the lens on the top. I did tell you guys how good this is for for videography and photography. Video clips and images come out really nicely with the camera. One thing that I do want to make mention of, however, is that when you vlog with this camera, it is a bit heavier, and so it's a bit harder to hold this camera for long periods of time when you are taking videos. So you know, when you're doing this and holding your arm up for however long that clip is going to be, it gets really heavy. Like it weighs a bit more than the G7X per se, just as an example. So overall, I would honestly recommend this camera. It's really good for beginners. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, but remember, I did tell you that it's a bit difficult to navigate through the millions of settings that this camera has, but I would recommend that you guys take some time, sit down, and definitely toy around with a lot of the settings on this camera. Oh, there's one more thing. This camera costs $650 on average. I would recommend that you guys do get a bundle when purchasing this camera. In my opinion, it's best to get a bundle where you can get like an additional battery and certain lenses and the microphone and everything combined initially, because you're gonna need some of those things when you're using this camera, and in the long run, it's cheaper than going ahead and buying each part individually. There's so many little things in the bundle that I'm showing you guys right here. I have like little things to clean the camera, USB ports, multiple batteries. It came with 2 different tripods, lenses, so many things. Right here, I'm showing you guys the 49mm professional 4-piece macro close-up lens kit that came with the bundle. This is so cool. So basically, these are just lenses that I can put over the camera lens that allow me to have a closer view of the subject, so I can have like a larger image scale. And these lenses can also be stacked on top of each other, and that creates like different levels of magnification for the video or photos. For those of you that are thinking of buying the Canon EOS M50, go for it. Thank you guys for visiting my channel. I hope you guys enjoyed this camera review, and I'll see you guys in my next video. So we are coming here with a force, yeah. Blessings we are reaping, we coursing on. Oh, in a rise and